Going on, guys? This is your boy Willie, the HVAC GOAT, and I'm back here to you. Just want to talk about some topics that I posted today. I made a comment about guys complaining about not getting jobs coming out of school. And I know it's kind of frustrating getting through school. Either you paying to go through school, get out of school, and you're looking for a job, and it's kind of hard to find a job. A lot of guys, companies are asking for experienced people to get in the field. And your thoughts is, what's the point of going through school and all this just for people to say you need experience? Now, keep in mind, you are looking at it from a employee standpoint, but now that I'm an owner, I understand why some companies do what they do, because you got to realize buying uniforms, putting you in the truck, adding you to the insurance, giving you a tool account, you have to factor that in when people take you in that company. Every company has their own vetting system on how they hire people. Sometimes it's about who you know. It's not about what you know. It's definitely about who you know, because I have seen people get jobs that wouldn't experience just because they knew someone. That's one of the parts as well. But as you see in this field, presentation is everything. When you get these job interviews, you definitely got to ace those job interviews if you definitely want to get a job in the HVAC field. But keep in mind, man, like as an owner, it really do cost to hire these guys. And you got some kids that you think you want to get in the field, and when they put you in that lifestyle of HVAC, like the real lifestyle, uncut version, throwing you to the fire, some guys do not like the pressure. So they quit. So you telling me I spend $10,000 on a new employee or $5,000 for a new employee, get him started, and he turn around and quit on the job because he don't like that he thought it was going to be more easier, or whatever the case may be. He may thought he was going to make all this type of money when he first got into the field, because that's a lot of motivation from a lot of guys. They hear about the money, but they don't explain how to get the money or how long it took for them, the employee, to make that type of money. You have to put in your work in this field. You got to. There's no shortcuts to making this money. I don't give a damn if you're an owner. I don't give a damn if you're an employee. It doesn't matter. Everybody got to put in that time card in this field of HVAC. As I recall, when I first started HVAC, I was a convicted felon. I applied to multiple big companies, got denied by maybe about 80% of the companies, and I got accepted by 20. The ones that 20 that accept me, they was like small companies, not so big. I did have one big company that took me under the wings after I left one of my smaller mom and pops. But I had a mom and pops company that took me under the wings. I learned a lot from him. And then when I got with a bigger company, I seen multiple things. I seen the treatment that some guys will get. They keep you in like a install position, and they would never move you up to a service tech. So you'd be slamming and banging units all day. And then when you ask for a service tech position, they deny it, or they give up some type of bullshit excuse. And I eventually went off on my own and started my own business. I had a mentor who had his own company, and I never forget, because it was always the reason why I got fired. Let me tread back. I worked for maybe about I say about 6 or 8 companies in my HVAC career. I worked for about 6 or 8 companies, and I got fired from every company. I always wanted to be my own boss. I don't really like authority. I don't like people telling me what to do, when to do it. That's just me. I knew when I got into school that eventually I was going to have my own business. So like I got fired from a lot of companies, man. When I started doing, most of the time I got fired for just doing side work, or say if I'm like on the clock, I may be talking to my other clients while I'm on the clock, and then it interfered with my main business. The last company I really worked for was, I think it was, what is it called? What are they called? because they're a corporate chain now, Service Experts. And I did a job, which I should have never did. I should have came back in my regular truck, but I came in a company truck and fixed this club owner air conditioner. It was leaking from the ceiling, the drop ceiling. I cleaned it out, got it fixed. And it ended up leaking back again, and he called me, but I was on the clock. So one thing I knew, I got called into the office and they told me they had to let me go, and they wouldn't give me a reason why. And I put two and two together. The guy pretty much called the company, told them that I was doing side work in that truck, and they fired me. And ever since then, I just, I just branched off and did my own thing. I wouldn't recommend anybody doing that. If you're working for a company, do not do work in that truck. Do not use their tools. Have your own. If you're going to be doing side work, keep it to yourself and make sure you have your own tools and not using the company stuff. But just fast forward, man. I just had a mentor who he was like he's a vet. He's a matter of fact, he's a Marine, and he went to war in Vietnam and all this other stuff like that, Iraq and stuff. And the way he talked was like a drill sergeant. And I remember getting fired from that job, and I called him. I say, because his name is Terry. I said, Terry, Mr. Terry, I got fired from my job. I don't know what I'm going to do. The only thing he said with me, I remember like it was yesterday. He said, Willie, well, now is the time for you to start your own business. You've been saying you want to do it, but now this the chance to do it. And he said, Willie, go sell 3 or 4 units and call me back. And he hung up in my face. As I'm sitting in my mama's driveway, I'm like, damn, did he really say that? And I'm just like, wow. And it really hit me about entrepreneurship. It's not easy. It's really scary when you start on your own, but it just go to show you have to pick your heart. You think finding a job is easy or finding an employee is easy? Running a business is harder. And it's really scary not knowing where your next check is going to come next month, especially if you have employees or if you're just working by yourself. It's kind of a walk on faith when you're not knowing if you're going to be able to pay your mortgage next month. You get what I'm saying? So you definitely have to pick your heart, man. My thing to guys that's coming out of school, I would say, don't stop learning. You have technology. Let me grab this right quick. You have technology. This phone, you got Chat GPT, you got Google, you have so many things. You have your education books that you could buy online and read up on the stuff that you're going to be going against in the field. So never stop learning. And you have YouTube. You can never stop learning. The education for HVAC is unlimited. So just because you're not getting the job or the opportunity don't mean you could not stop learning, because when you get these job interviews, the first thing they're going to do is test you. They're going to give you a test and say, of the basic knowledge of HVAC, and they're going to test you. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to ask you what superheat. They're going to ask you what type of compressors. They might ask you anything. So staying up on your education in between jobs is a must. Even if you graduate school, got your EPA, you can still be in them books and still learning. So when you do get your shot with a nice job interview, you can ace that job interview and be working the next day. That's how I usually work. Once you get hired by a company, they want to put you in the truck the very next day, or they want to have you come in the office the very next day to meet the staff, meet all the employees, might do a ride along with another technician. So like, you can never stop learning. Like, just don't use no excuses. Just don't limitate yourself to what you could do. There are different fields that you can get in. If you're trying to do residential HVAC, you can't get a job, do commercial. Go commercial. Don't be scared. The bigger the equipment, there ain't nothing. It's all the same thing. It's just the location may be a little bit more higher. The equipment may be a little bit bigger. The voltage may be a little bit bigger, but it's all the same thing. There's different fields you can get in. You could do refrigeration. You could do commercial. You could do supermarkets. You could do residential. You could do apartment maintenance. It's different fields. So just because you're not getting into the field you want, you could always get into another field until that other field opens back up that you really want to get into. So like I was telling them, man, just don't give up. But complaining, that's not a good look. Nobody wants a complainer. Because when you get into this field, one of my biggest uh, thing my mentor always told me is in the field is make it work. That was one of his phases that he uses all the time. Make it work. Because in this field, you gotta, whatever you have, the tools you have, the materials you have to make it work in the field. You cannot be going to a client house and putting in a new unit and you don't have the right tools. You have to make it work. You say, well, I don't have, the phase make it work is saying, like, say if you don't have the right tools and you say, I can't, you go to the client and say, I can't do the job because I don't have the right tool. Nobody wants to hear that shit. The client don't want to hear this shit. Your boss don't want to hear this shit. Nobody wants to hear this shit. The only thing they judge you off is what you do on the job site. Whether when you complete the job, that's what they judge you off. They don't care about what you do in between or how you got it done. They only care about, is it done? That's the first thing the client is going to ask. When will it be done? That's the only thing they care about. When it will be done, and will you warranty the work that you do? That's the only thing a client really care about. They don't care about what tools you're using or how you did it. They don't care about that. They only care about the end result. So just keep that in mind, man. So not gonna really talk too much about it. You know, I'm just saying I see a lot of people complaining, man. Just, hey, if I had to do it again, I probably would have got with a bigger company and got the experience, got the knowledge, because when I went into the field and started on my own, I learned by fucking up people's shit. I ain't gonna lie. I was fucking people's stuff up. I was letting, it's a saying, don't let the smoke out the motor. I was smoking motors left and right, smoking them up, pitting in units backwards. I was pitting in units backwards, unlicensed, pitting in unit backwards. But I had to learn that the hard way to be where I'm at now. And I appreciate the stuff that I've been through, because it made me so stronger. It made me so confident in who I am. And that comes with experience. That's why they always ask us for experience, because the stuff that you did when you first started, you shouldn't be doing that 3-4 years in. You shouldn't be doing, if you're doing the same shit that you was doing when you first started HVAC 3-4 years down the line, then you're not progressing as a HVAC technician or HVAC installer or anything in HVAC or any trade. You're not improving. So I'm gonna just keep it short. I just wanted to make a little brief talk about that, man. Just, you can never stop learning. Always educate yourself. YouTube should be your best friend. Write down when you're on the job site, write down your sequence of operation, ask questions. Each year, you should look back at yourself and see the progress that you're learning. Even as me, as an owner, I'm learning things each year. Like, oh, now, like this year was my really learning experience with dealing with property managers, dealing with warranty, because I never dealt with them. I always been with customers. So now I got an employee now, and I'm trying to keep them busy. So I'm taking on stuff that keep the workload busy. So I learned with dealing with warranty companies, learned with dealing with property management companies and stuff like that. So you can never stop learning. So always be a student of the game. I don't care what level you are in life. You can never stop being a student to the game. And that's what I love about the trades. You can never stop learning. You can always learn from someone else. It don't matter if they're in a higher or lower position to you. You can always learn from someone. That's why I made that HVAC for Life, HVAC is Life page, to give a open floor to anybody that want to speak something or giving people a voice. A lot of people just want to be heard sometimes. So that's why I made the page so people around the world could be heard and then state their opinion about what they're going through, what their experience, because nothing feels better in life than going through something and having someone that been through what you've been through, and they understand the stuff that you're going through. It makes it a lot better when someone experiences the stuff that you're going through and can give you advice. It's like a cheat code to life. having someone that you could depend on, or having someone that could give you opinion about something you're going through and give you advice and how to get out of that situation, it's awesome, man. So like I say, you could always be a student to the game. Just don't make excuses and get out here and grind like everybody else. Everybody got to put their time card in. I don't know anybody that haven't put their time card in, been doing it for years, and that's just not how it go. You don't progress unless you put in that time card. So, all right, this is your boy Willie the HVAC GOAT. I'm out. I just wanted to talk real quick, and y'all take it easy. Have a good weekend, man. I'm out.